Hello, everybody. Spider here, coming soon podcast once again. Of course, San Antonio, Texas. Being joined by James, Frederick, Spake, and Anthony Davenport. Gentlemen, how are y'all doing?
We're doing
Good.
okay.
Good. How are you?
Man, I'm doing great, guys. I know all last week. And I apologize. It was a little back and forth. Allergies for some reason they were attacking the world, and then I was one of the victims, man. But I was pretty in pretty bad shape, and I apologize for that. But I'm glad to have you guys on here, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks
good
for
to be
having
here.
us.
Well,
Now, of course, for those that are watching and are going to be watching, I want you to do a little intro because, of course, when it comes to the world of filmmaking, it just seems that everybody's got to start somewhere, man. And of course, I'm going to start with James. When did everything start for you wanting to jump on films?
So I kind of I've been acting since I was a kid, but I fell back into this about 3 years ago. I worked on the set of Twisters as background, but they kept asking me back, and I just loved it so much, and I made friends with a lot of the crew too, so that helped quite a bit. But I guess the filmmaking thing, that kind of it developed out of necessity. Anthony and I, uh, being kind of new to the industry, like, 3, 4 years in, we were having trouble finding people that wanted to work with new people. So we decided to get together, every week, and we would write something on the fly and shoot it. And, a couple days later, Anthony would give us an edit, and we compiled just like a bunch of micro short films, and that kind of progressed into a couple 48-hour film races. For those of you out there that like don't know what the film race is, it's like basically you got 2 days to make a short film. They give you character names, genre, so on and so forth. But yeah, so we got a couple of those 48s under our belt, and that led us to this current project, which we're talking to you about, a Rift Apart.
Now, of course, I think here we have the 24-hour, 48-hour film festivals, and that's
Mhm.
basically
mhm.
what they are. You show up.
Yeah.
You have a crew of three or five people, and like you said, they just give you random genres, random, boom, you got to make it happen. For me, I haven't been on one yet, and I know last year I was asked to jump on one, and I already had stuff booked, so I wasn't able to participate, but I was eager. I was like, man, I want to do it because when it comes to like being quick with my snaps, I'm real good. Like people, if you try to knock me down, man, like I'm quick with my comebacks, right? So I was kind of like, man, I want to try that. I want to see if I can, if I'm that good, right? If I can just come back
Yeah.
with something, and but I haven't been able to do that yet, man. But I think because of not well the pressure, of course, but because it's fun, right? I would imagine
Yeah.
Oh
people
yeah.
are just kind of like, man, I want to have fun with this. I want to see what happens. Just go with something different. Um, I think a lot of people, for those that haven't been on one, I know I
Mhm.
missed out. I'm kind of I regret it, but it's just like when these things happen, like James, we were talking earlier, and it's like these film gigs, they come in waves, man. Like sometimes you're busy as heck. Next time nobody's calling you, and it's just like, okay, what's going on, man. But I like what you
Yeah.
guys are doing, and that's keeping busy because for me, like I've been the whole film thing. It's been going on 2 years for myself. I'm new. I'm still green. I'm still learning. I'm still, of course, doing everything I can to progress. But at the same time, I'm learning. Like even on set, I'm paying attention. The DPs. I know they love me because they keep calling me back, but it's because I'm attentive. I pay attention. I listen. I don't talk. I don't have my cell phone. All the do's and don'ts. And I know they appreciate that, but it's just like for me, like every time they call me back, and or if I get there and they know me by name, I'm like, oh heck yeah, I must be doing something right. And
Yeah.
just it's a fun gig, man. If I know somebody was like, oh, would you do this full time? If my life depended on it, yeah, I would. Right now, I have a job I can fall on, but man, the fact that you guys are making this happen, and like you said, you guys are 4 years in, but still, dude, this is something you guys probably have more knowledge than a lot of people do that have been on it.
I don't know. I don't know about that, man. I personally, personally, I always love working in groups of like with big teams and people that have obviously had more experience, or even if they've had the same amount of experience, they're always like curious and trying to push the boundaries of, what we can do. And I love that collaborative feeling. I personally, I work a full-time job too, and this is like what I do for fun. And if I can turn my hobby into my full-time job, that would be great. But right now, it's just one of those things where you work really hard on it. You have a lot of fun with friends and new people that you meet, and you just create things you're really proud of. And
Yeah.
I think James and I really push for that a lot, especially showing up and doing like crash course writing and acting it out same day and filming it all. And then, the next day or so, we put together an edit and we start piecing together these ideas that could potentially turn into like full-fledged scripts if it's got the right momentum or feeling for it, personally.
No, no, for sure, man. And I mean, what I meant earlier too was a lot of it's like on the job training, you know.
Yeah,
Oh
So
yeah.
I
yeah,
think because of that, I think it's a lot more experience than a lot of people have, just because they're either just acting or they're doing one, they're not doing everything. I mean, when you guys put on multiple hats, you kind of have to pick up stuff, and go
yeah,
learn as you go, but at the same time, I mean, being on bigger projects and working, on bigger sets and around people with more experience, yeah, it does rub off on you. And it's just,
for sure.
it's a matter of time before, I mean, it'll be 5 years, 6 years, and who knows, man, maybe this will be full time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
Fingers
maybe
crossed.
we'll have a group of people behind us that are like learning things from us that we learned from other people.
No, no, for
And
sure,
we just
man.
keep the train going.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've worked with a lot of great, local talent, dude, when it comes to just even actors, I mean, writers, directors, I mean, people that are every time I'm behind the scene, like I said, I'm learning, and I'm watching them work,
Yeah,
and I'm watching the like little traits that they do, and I pick up little stuff, and I'm like, oh man, I want to not so much that I want to try that, but I mean, I just recently, like I directed my first film, it's a fan film, and I had hella fun with it, dude. Like the crew was green,
yeah,
everybody was like new, and I think it was the fact that everybody wanted to do it. Like the ladies that were involved, one of the guys jumped on, and everybody wanted to try it, and I think that's what made it even better was the fact that everybody was just like, well, heck, let's do it, and they got
yeah,
a character, and but. I noticed right off the bat, like for myself, I mean, just watching behind the camera, I was like, man, I saw a lot of things that I was like, okay, you know what, like the producer writers like, hey, we're gonna go this angle, they're gonna come this way, and I'm like, okay, well, that lamp's on the way, the shadows over here, like we can't do, and I just my mind just started working, and I said, man, this is pretty cool. You kind of start putting yourself in somebody else's shoes for a while, and it kind of reminded me, like, I'll say this, like when I first started training in Brazilian jiu-jitsu, I was 2 years in, I was a blue belt. One day my instructor's like, hey, I don't want to be here Saturday, right? He's like, you want to teach? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, all right, just as soon as people show up, man, start putting them to drills. And yeah, sure enough, man, like he threw me in the fire. But I mean, right off the bat, like I started learning more as I was teaching, because
right,
the option
right.
was
Yeah.
different. And I'm like, damn, the whole time my foot's here, the angle's here, and I just started seeing a lot of things differently. So when I started rolling after a few months, I noticed my game got tighter, it got better, and it's kind of what it reminded me of, man. It's just you just get
Yeah,
better
for
with the
sure.
rep. But let me ask you. I mean, of course, James was talking about his intro into the whole film thing, man. Anthony, I mean, when did this start for you, man? I mean, were you out there with one of those DVD recorders, man, old school? Like,
I really wish I had like a super cool 80s, 90s backstory with cameras, but mine was I got a camera because I wanted to take pictures. I was in a band. We needed photos, we needed video. Um, we didn't really have the capital to pay for that to get done, so I decided to take on learning it. I fell in love with that. I love filming live bands. I took a lot of wildlife nature photos. And one day I had a buddy of mine reach out to me and ask me to film a live set with him, and I did.
nice.
And of course, I wasn't editing anything. I was just giving him the footage. So I was like, it's not mine, it's someone else's. I really want to do a good job. So I did what I think probably most people do and just crack down on YouTube tutorials on exposure and video settings and, you know, learned my camera front to back, and eventually just progressed from there. I met James at my first narrative style film, and that was a 48 hour. And yeah, I was super nervous, you know. Still felt like I didn't know what I was doing in terms of narrative work because I've only done nature photos and
Yeah.
filmed bands playing live. So it was a really cool experience for me. And I learned a lot from that first day. We started meeting up more. We did a second 48 hour. That one turned out significantly better. We all started to get more and more friends that were comfortable also wearing multiple hats and that were also creative and you know very personable people that are nice and easy to work with but also creative. So after that it's really just been whatever I can get my hands on, I'll film it. You know, like any gig, any narrative work or whatever, like I enjoy it a lot
Yeah.
Mhm.
and I love working with teams.
No, no, for sure, man. And I mean, that's one of the things. I mean, of course, you need that. I mean, you know, it's like going to work. You don't want to work with people you don't like. You know, I mean, sometimes we're
Yeah.
stuck working with people. You know, but I mean, when it comes to filmmaking, I think the whole, you know, I mean, everything's business, and of course, you know, I mean, like you said, you guys take everything serious when it's on set, and you know, trying to
Hmm.
get things done. But at the same time, you know, I mean, I personally, I want to keep having fun, man. Like, I want to keep going out there. I mean,
Yeah.
meeting people, hanging out, and when you know, when it's time to get on set and you know, action, it's like, okay, you know what, boom, like everything closes, and you know, it's go time. But
Hmm.
for me, like just being on set, I mean, it's only happened like twice in these past 2 years where I get there and there's like somebody that's just like, and I'm like, dude, why are you even here, bro? Like they're miserable, you know what I mean? And it's just like, you know, that's the case. I mean, I'd rather just go to work, right? I mean, why
Yeah.
even show up or do this? But it's just, you know, but it's been fun, man. And of course, I mean, like you said, I mean, you guys started doing this. Well, let me ask you this. I mean, did you guys start doing these projects to stay busy? I mean, were you kind of like, hey, well, nothing's going on,
Yeah.
through
Yeah. So when for me personally, I like to like work on even just little projects here and there because it keeps me occupied, it keeps me learning, and sometimes in the moments when we write some of the short films, we try things that we wouldn't normally do
Mhm.
in a giant setting. Maybe we don't have a lot of lights, or maybe we got to figure out how we're going to frame this because our lenses that we brought that day are super limited in focal range. So we have to play smart about it. And that's something that just keeps the creative juices going. And, you know, it's the same as songwriting. If you just try to write something a little bit every day or once a week, or just play for 30 minutes every day, like you're going to progress in some way. And I feel like that translates pretty well with film as long as you're practicing, you're moving forward.
No, and then let me ask you because when it comes to writing, I mean, do you guys take turns? I mean, are there other people involved when it comes to the writing format?
Um, I have primarily done most of the writing, but Anthony's been like my partner in just creating all of this stuff. Like anytime that I come to kind of a roadblock, you know, spitball back and forth. It
Yeah.
is a lot like jamming. You know, he mentioned that he's a musician. You know, I am too. I think we all are fans of rock music. You know, so. Yeah, I mean, it's just awesome being able to create and not worry about like being judged, you know, by the person that you're working with. Uh, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really do a lot of writing and scripts and stuff. That's something I personally want to get better at. And that's something I admire a lot about James because he's able to write out these like stories that are really captivating. And you know, not everything's perfect. I know when I film stuff, I'll get feedback on the framing or how we're blocking it and where we want camera to move. And I'm able to give that same feedback to James in terms of, hey, let's try this line, or maybe
Mhm,
move the phrasing a little bit, or you know, let's mess with the timing of how it's said. And
mhm.
I think those little moments like that of being able to collaborate back and forth really push us to get something better and kind of different than even what we thought we were going to get when we showed up.
Exactly. And I think that translates to the rest of the crew and then the actors even more that if we can show that like it's a playground that we're kids just playing make believe, it really elevates the film and the performance, and I really think it comes across when the viewer's seeing it.
No, I mean, no joke, man. I mean, when I know you sent me the trailer. Now, of course, when it comes to the this project, because I mean, well, let me ask you this: when it comes to the name, I mean, where does Deja Reve Motion Pictures come from? I mean, was it something that you both everybody collaborated in, or did somebody just come up with that?
So
That's James's brain baby.
yeah, yeah. I don't remember where it came from. It just popped in my mind one day. Deja Reve is like deja vu,
Yeah,
except deja vu is when you get that feeling that it happened before in life,
right.
but deja reve is when you get that feeling in real life that you dreamed it before. So I just thought it was like a really cool artistic correlation that when we're making these movies, it's a dream, from inside our head, and we're trying to make it reality.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, dude. And I was gonna say, I mean, does that happen to you quite? I mean, when it comes to deja vu, I mean, does that happen to you quite a bit?
Um, uh, I would
Sometimes.
I would say maybe like a couple times a year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And not to get off subject, I know my buddy was talking about this last year, man, and and I told him, and I said, man, when I was a kid, I used to have that all the time. I used to walk through a certain hall, and my mom would call me, and I'm like, wait, I
I've
just,
been here before.
yeah, like it just happened like the other day, right? And I know last year when we were talking about it, I fell down this rabbit hole where I was looking at like, I mean, of course, when it comes to a lot of people's ideas of what's going on or what happens, and one of them was like that throughout our life we have time portals that we walk through. And it's
Yeah.
just kind of like we've been there because it's just one of the different, and it just blew my mind. But I was just like, man, like that's crazy. It hasn't happened to me in a while, but it's just, it's kind of curious if, that still goes on with people, man. Obviously it does. So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
when I was a kid, my big sister told me that that's like the universe trying to let you know that your life is on track. And that kind of stuck with me because I thought it
oh,
was kind of
damn.
cool.
I like that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, no, for sure, man. But of course, let me ask you this: when it comes to the filmmaking, because of course, like mentioned earlier, this is something that between when you guys have free time, of course, it's like, hey, let's go film something. I like that. I actually have a buddy of mine that we started doing that, and there's a lot of people here locally that have been doing that, and I think it's really brilliant because it's like, okay, you know what, rather than go home. I mean, I don't want to say it's too loud because my girl might hear me, but I hate being home on the weekend, and I'm not filming, I'm not doing something, and I'm kind of like, damn, like I want to, I miss it. I miss being on set. I miss, working. I miss, and like when I see everybody else posting and I'm here at home watching TV and I'm like, damn, what the
Yeah.
hell, dude? Like, what's going
Mhm.
on? But it's all timing, and of course, when it's my turn, then it's my turn. It's just I still
Yeah.
root for everybody, man. I mean, it's hella fun. So yeah, jumping on set, especially. I mean, here, like, I mean, I haven't gone far when it comes to traveling for filming. I've been like 2.5 hours, 3 hours drive, but I always run into locals, into people I've worked with before, and it's always like a little mini reunion, man. It's like, all right, cool, man. Like this is gonna be a fun day. We just get out there and try to make those stories, reality, man.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now, let me ask you,
Uh,
because both you guys are, musicians, right? When it comes to when it comes to soundtrack, I mean, who picks the songs?
well, right
So
now, I was gonna say,
yeah,
yeah,
you
we're just in the process of just trying to make it ourselves.
Yeah. Oh,
You
okay.
know, we write music or have written music over the last like almost 10 years now, and um, it's something that really interests us. And if we have the skill set to like put that emotional feel behind the visuals that we're trying to portray, if we can like get that noise from our head into the computer and make it a thing, um, it feels a little more synergized. Like obviously people can write songs for films and whatnot, or just pick a song and put it in there, which is great. But I think, like he said, you don't like being in on the weekends. You like working. Like that's just one more little thing to like sit there and mess with and work on. And obviously, there's people out there that are going to be way better at doing it. But right now, I think it's something that we're just trying to pursue on top of the visuals is get that soundtrack or background in there.
No, no, for sure, man. And of course, I mean, like for me, it's always been music, when it comes to movies. I mean, of course,
Hmm.
I tell people, like, I mean, growing up in the 80s, I was listening to punk rock before I knew what punk rock was, because of the song or a movie. And years later, here I am skateboarding, and I'm like, dude, I know that song. That's from this movie and that movie. And it's just kind of like,
Yeah.
wow, it opened up like my music palette, but yeah, man,
Hmm.
when it comes to like rock and metal and everything else, it's just the songs always just fit. I mean, I know what happens on some movies out there that somebody on set's listening to a song and they're like, "Hey, well, let's see if we can use that in the movie." And they got the money, of course, so they make it happen. But for the indie world, I mean, of course, I think it's better and cheaper just to make your own, right?
Yeah, that or
Yeah.
involve your friends.
True.
And of course, I mean, when it comes to music, I mean, what instruments do you guys play?
Anthony, do you want to go ahead first?
Sure. I play the guitar. Back there. Um, yeah, I've programmed drums. I don't play drums anymore. That was something I did back in like middle school and high school for bands, but that was years and years ago. But yeah, mostly just guitar.
Well, he composes as well, like puts together orchestral music that he's not talking about, which is really, really impressive, by the way.
Well, thank you.
Um, I am a multi-instrumentalist. I play guitar, bass, drums, keyboards. We both went to school for music production, but my focus was on film scoring. And so it made writing the music for A Rift Apart a little bit easier. I mean, it was not an easy task, but going to school helped. I'll say that.
No, no, no. And of course, I mean, when it comes to the projects now, I mean, had you guys been using your own music?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I took care of most of the music on A Rift Apart. Anthony helped a lot with the sound design, and we kind of both married those together to make it a cohesive thing. Um, I did write like one complete other score to the movie before I scrapped it and started over. That was just kind of a weird thing to experience. Like I've never experienced that with the movie world in terms of like writing music, but I thought it would kind of like tear me apart or whatever, or I thought it'd be really difficult. But that second time that I came back and wrote some new music to it, it kind of just flowed out of me. It felt very natural.
oh, nice, man. And of course, and let me ask you, because earlier you guys were talking about, when you guys started doing this, like it was hard to get people to kind of jump on board and work with the new guys, right? So,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
with that being said, I mean, have you guys had others wanting to like learn from you guys? I mean, it's been what, how many years, and now, are people kind of like, hey, you know what, we're interested, or we want to help, or we want to work?
It's starting to pop up. I mean, people are like, sending us friend requests and looking at our stuff and showing interest in working with us, which is a new experience, but it's also really cool. Yeah, we do have another project coming up, which we're shooting this weekend, and our team is like three times as big as it was for A Rift Apart, and it consists of some industry pros, like yeah, I mean, like just people you meet on set and you keep in contact. If they're not busy and they like your stuff, they come out. And I've been lucky to befriend a lot of crew members on bigger sets who are coming out. So we're really grateful for that. And it's been a lot of pre-production work, but I mean, I think we're ready to hit the ground running this weekend.
Yeah.
Nice, man. And is this going to be for another micro? I mean, what are you guys working on?
Oh, this one is another short film, so it'll be somewhere in the range of 10 and 15 minutes.
Okay, so that's like what, like 3 days work?
We're squeezing it into two.
Oh, okay, there you
Yeah.
go.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And of
Gotta
course,
have a challenge.
yeah. Oh, no, no, for sure, man. Now, when it comes to location, I mean, what where are you guys shooting at? Is it like people's houses, people's businesses?
Pretty much. It's it's been a kind of a difficult task for me because I'm kind of a shy person. But I essentially like go out there and I do location scouting. I find places that I like, whether it's people I know, my friends, or like my chiropractor or whatever. Um, I'll just ask people, and half the time I get no's, but the other half of the time I get yeses. And yeah, I mean, we've gotten some really great looking locations because of that. And where we're shooting this weekend is just absolutely like cinematic. I can't wait to show it to you when we get to that point.
Sweet, man. That's cool, man. And of course, and let me ask you because like you saying you're shy. I mean, I'm the same way, man. I hate crowds. I don't like being out there. And it's like, I mean, I've been doing like media for combat sports, over 15 years, right? I've been like on at the UFC cage side. I've been on Bellator, Strike Force, and everybody's like, man, you keep saying you're shy, but here you are on freaking national TV, right? The whole world's
Yeah,
watching. And for me, it was always like hiding. I was a photographer, man. So I was behind the camera. I always
yeah,
felt like that was my shield, like And it one story, and I've said it before, but it's like I was actually covering this promotion called Legacy, and I'm shooting, and it was the first time I had actually shot on the platform. Every other promotion has been like on the ground, and I'm staying away from people. Well, they have a walking platform for the ring girls and everybody else, and so out of courtesy, I stayed behind one of the posts. And like what in between the rounds, the guys are getting closer, and I'm like, crap, having to adjust. So I'm like, shit. So I grabbed the cage, and the guy is behind me, and I know the fool, right? And he's all like, "Hey, ref!" He's holding onto the cage, and I was like, "What the world, dude?" I went into shock to where I was like, "Damn!" Like after that round, I had to like get up and walk around because it kind of put me in the spot, But it was funny, but and then it took me like I didn't go back till the next round because I was just like, damn, like I never felt. I wasn't embarrassed, but I was just like I'm so used to being behind the camera that it kind of just threw me out there. I don't know who heard it, but
yeah,
kind of threw my mental out, man. But it's just I've
yeah,
always been that guy. But now that when it comes to being in a movie, getting a script, doing dialogue, and becoming that person, it's become it's like kids, man, playing. Let's play pretend. Go out there and just say, "I'm a doctor today." Okay, here are your symptoms. This is what you have. You got 3 hours to live. You got to. No, I'm just. But but it's like I become that character, and I kind of go into get in that zone, I guess.
Mhm.
Um,
mhm.
myself, and of course, when it comes to acting, I mean, is James the only actor here?
Yeah.
Acting?
I don't act.
We'll get him to one of these days.
Yeah,
One day I'll do it. Yeah, I'm not opposed to it. It's just something that I don't generally do.
yeah,
I like having the camera, like you said, like
yeah.
show up places, you're behind your camera. Don't worry about me.
No, no. And the only reason I was asking was because, of course, James. I mean, what is it? I mean, I don't want to say does it get easier because I mean I know for me I don't even think it's hard. I mean going out there and doing this, but I mean for yourself, I mean do you have to kind of get in the zone? How do you go about like before you get on set? What do you do?
So what I'll say it does not ever get easier. But what I'm coming to find is the more comfortable that you can make other people on set, it'll make you more comfortable.
Okay.
But it'll make the entire performance or just that entire day that much more pleasant for everyone. And again, like I said it earlier with the way that Anthony and I work together when we're, working on one of our movies with other actors or other crew, it's about making other people feel comfortable because everyone has that kind of anxiety and like, it's weird to talk to new strangers, but once you break that ice, man, it's like one of those YouTube channels, where you watch those people just talking to strangers and they become best friends towards the end of it. It's like that, man.
Yeah.
And I love it.
No, no, that's true. I mean, I know, for me, like when I get on set, like I right away I start talking to people. Hey, how's it going?
Hmm.
I'm so and so. Like I'm trying to find out who's who. When the script's there and we're writing, and I mean I'm reading it and I'm trying to memorize my lines. It's easier for me once I put a face on that name that I've been talking to for the past 2 days, right? And so when I get on set, I'm like, okay, so you're, John, okay, John, like, and like right away I start connecting. I start trying to, get that chemistry going, or at least get that vibe off those people, because it's like you said, it's got to be fun, so of course, once people get comfortable. I've been I was a delivery driver, for Big Lots for like 8 years, man. This is after I left the post office. I was like, man, let me, became self-employed. I always told people, like, for me, like, once I got the customers laughing, like, I would notice, like, they would drop their guard, like, they're like, oh, hey, and everything was, after that, it was smooth sailing. Like, I made so many good friends because of it, and even to this day, I haven't done anything. Like, Big Lots closed down like, what, 3 years ago, and I still get customers that are like, hey, I'm buying this, can you help me? And I'm like, yeah, sure, and it's to where they're like, hey, the back door's open, just go in there, drop it off. And I'm like, okay, and this is people that I've met, and I'm thinking, like, man, like, the trust, like, it happened right away. Once people like you and they get that vibe and they're like, okay, yeah, they're comfortable with you. They, I mean, they're not the first people that have done that. And it's just, for me, it kind of is mind blowing, because I'm like, man, how many people, like, I can't meet somebody and be, oh yeah, my back door's open, man, come in. I'm kind of like,
Yeah.
living in the front porch, like,
Yeah.
I mean, but it's the same thing with everything, when it comes to life, work, people like your vibe, and they want to go back, they want to work with you again. They want to, bring you back on set. They want to, yeah, why not? This guy's easy to work with. He's fun to work with. He listens. He, gets along with everybody else, doesn't piss anybody off. And, that all that stuff that makes things go even smoother, man.
And like, it's even cooler when you get onto set and you're just talking to people and you don't know who it is, right?
Yeah.
And then they just turn out to be someone, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, maybe about a year and a half ago, I walked onto this movie set and it turned out to be bigger than I thought, right? It hasn't come out yet, so I'm not gonna like say who's in it or whatever. But like, for example, Anthony and I had just finished our second 48, and I was showing people the trailer because I was proud of it, right? And they were just setting up lights for a scene, and I turned to this guy to the right of me. I'm like, "Hey, man, check this out." I showed it to him, and he's like, "Wow, that's really cool." And I was like, "Oh, thanks, man." And he asked me a little bit about myself, and I was like, "So what do you do?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm directing this movie." And I was like, "Oops." So I was like, "Oh, did I just make a mistake? Am I gonna get kicked off?" But it was great. I was a stand-in for the entire time, and we still keep in contact. And yeah, it's a funny story.
No, for sure, man. And I think I've been in those situations, man, and even on set, like, on one of them, they're like, hey, Mario, yeah, we're gonna use you. Come in and go stand next to Randy. And I'm like, okay. And I'm looking around, and they're like, yeah, they kind of point at this one guy, and I'm seeing him, and I walk up, and I'm like, hey, how's it going? And I'm there talking, and they're like, okay, we're gonna do this scene. Okay, action, and boom, we're doing it. I'm talking, we're kind of communicating, and it took me a minute, but it was Randy Quaid. Like, I couldn't. He had a big old beard. Like, I didn't recognize him, man. And I'm like, so after we're done with the set, the scene, everybody, hey, go back to base camp. So we go out there, hang out, and everybody's like, yeah, dude, Randy Quaid, man. And I was like, and I'm
Wow.
listening, and I was like, the hell? And I was like, holy crap, dude. Like, I said, okay, I didn't, I saw
Yeah,
him.
how cool.
Yeah, but I mean, everybody was cool, man. I mean, the whole, I don't know when that, series is dropping or what, but I mean, it's like everybody was pretty cool. Everybody was laid back, man, and there was no, you know, that,
Egos.
yeah,
Yeah.
everybody's. It was awesome, man. But after I knew who he was, I was like, damn. I said, okay, cool, man. So once I go back on set, it's like, I started kind of looking at, okay, who's behind me and who's working, man, because it was I didn't really, on that one, I didn't pay attention to who all was going to be on there. I knew one of the big names, and after that, it's like, I'm like, oh, okay, that's so and so, and like, oh shit, this is so and so. And so the whole time I'm walking around fist bumping people, like, hey, how's it going, and just letting them be, but I'm like, I just wanted to, acknowledge them. I didn't want to ignore them, and just kind of like, but it's fun though, man. I know
Mm.
years ago, I used to work for, I don't know if you guys have Academy Sports out there.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I worked for that company for years here, like part-time, seasonal. I mean, I always loved my discounts, so I used to work there. But the first year I got hired at the post office that same year. It's like 2004, and I see this picture in the manager's office, and this guy's like right in the middle, and I'm like, man, who is this guy? Right, big old suit, like. And so I'm there, I'm in the bathroom watching up, and I see him walk in. Like this is like random, right? And I'm like, hey, how's it going? We start talking. He's like, what's your name? I said, oh, Mario. I just started. You know, I'm a postal employee. And he's like, oh, okay. I'm Mike Miller. And I said, okay, Mike, nice to meet you. I leave. You know, at the end of that, you know, I'm at my department, like putting stuff up. You know, and I see him walking with all the manager behind him, like ducks, right? Everybody's like in formation. He walks by. He's like, "Hey, Mario, how you doing?" And I said, "Hey, how's it going, Mike? You know, how you doing, man?" And so everybody's kind of like looking at each other, like, oh. Well, the running joke was that, you know, at the end of the day, my manager's like, "Hey, how do you know Mr. Miller?" And I said, "Oh man, we go way back, bro. Like I know that guy for basketball, right?" And so he's all like, kind of like, I forgot to tell him I was joking, right? But I mean, because
Yeah.
everybody's like, "Hey, your uncle's here," you know, and it was like forever, man. Like every time I would go back to work at academy, like I would run into him, and he's like, "Man, you're back, oh, dude!" Like, but I was part time. Um, like he would send me to seminars, like in Katy, Texas, man. He used to like, I mean, he loved me. He was like, "Hey, I got this store. Can I transfer you, man? I need this place cleaned up." And I'm like, "Yeah, sure," you know, and it just became one of those things where I didn't know the guy personally, but I mean, you know, I mean, he knew who I was. I was a stand-up guy. I got my work done, and you know, he appreciated that. But I mean, it's just like, you know, like James was saying. I mean, you don't never know who you're gonna talk to, man. But it's like it
Yes.
helps, you know, because later on, like I know there was a few times, like I would work at a department, and I'm like, "Hey, man, I can't work weekends," and I would see him, and I'm like, "Hey, you know, I'm gonna be leaving, like, you know, weekends." And he's like, "Oh, no, 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 no. Like, I'll talk to him. Don't worry about it, man. You got weekends
Mhm.
off." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." Like, I got it
Yeah.
like that, you know. And so it was like, um, one year he sent me to one store. I get there, I had just met the manager, and I'm like, "Hey, you know, I'm Mario." And he's like, "Oh yeah, Mr. Miller, you know, told me about you." And I said, "Okay." I said, "Well, you know, what do you want me to do?" He says, "Hey, Mr. Miller told me he knows you know what you're doing, man. Do whatever you're gonna do." And I'm like, "Okay, but what do you want me to do?" And he said, "It's your department, man. Go for it." You know, and I'm like, "Shit." I said, "Okay." So I went and, you know, started knocking stuff out. But, you know, I like that because it's like, I mean, like the directions there, you know, like kind of like with filmmaking. I'm sure, like, I mean, like you said, I mean, you guys are gonna be progressing. You're gonna be getting better. You know, you're gonna get different equipment, different program. I mean, everything's gonna, you know, it's gonna keep evolving. But you know,
Yeah.
as long as you guys keep having fun, man. I mean, you know, sky's the limit, brother. So I'm interested and curious to see what else you guys develop into, you know, come to next year. Hell, who knows?
Oh, thanks, man. We're excited too. This next film that we're working on is kind of, I don't want to give away too much, but I guess one of the only things I'll say is it's completely different from the last film you saw, A Rift Apart. Um, of course, it's not publicly released yet. We just entered into 16 film festivals. So, yeah, we're on that journey while we're also starting another one. So, yeah, it's tiring, but it's exciting.
Yeah. And well, tell us. I mean, when it comes to a Rift Apart, because I mean that's a project I was able to watch. You know, of course, you sent me the trailer. So what is that one about for those that haven't watched it yet?
So it's considered like a psychological thriller, and it has a few different twists. I won't give away too much because I want the viewer to kind of discover it on their own. But I wrote that one, and I wrote this one that we're shooting this weekend, around the same time, about a year and a half ago. Um, it has a lot to do with I guess like depression, anxiety, self-doubt, kind of like depressing subjects, but I wanted to shine a light on something that I think a lot of people feel in this current day and age. And I wanted to kind of like give people hope in terms of like you're not alone, you know, other people go through this also. So yeah, it has to do with our main character, the actress who plays her, Rebecca Crockett. She's a good friend and just a wonderful actress. She portrays a woman who doesn't necessarily like her life, and we'll just say uh, police matters ensue, hospital matters ensue. Yeah.
Nice, man. Now, of course, like you said, I mean, the new project. I mean, you guys can't get into detail on that one. Like I think you said it was going to be like 15 minutes.
About 15 minutes, yeah.
And of
Yep.
course, on those, I mean, how long? Well, let me ask you this. I mean, how long is a short film when it comes to script writing?
I mean, like it can be as long as like a minute long, up to 20 minutes. I think is what some of the film festivals
Right.
make their mark at. We are basically just sticking to short films right now, somewhere between 10 and 15, maybe 20 minutes. But we're sticking to that right now, basically just to showcase our abilities. Um, we do plan on jumping into features after this next one, just so we have it under our belt. Trying to grow it each time, you know what I'm saying?
No, and of course, I mean, feature films. I mean, now you're talking more days. You're talking longer, like longer days. Now, are you guys prepared to like schedule out like every weekend for like a month, or I mean, whatever days you guys are gonna be running these?
So we're still in the pre-production stages of the feature film, but as these projects grow, we have to expand our team also, and that kind of consists of bringing on other executive producers. It starts concerning asking for money.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it just opens up like a whole new arena of problems, I guess you could say. More money, more problems, or whatever.
Challenges to
there,
overcome.
Yeah, there you go. I like that better.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, so I guess the next stage would be getting with the executive producers we do have so far, finding a little bit more funding, and then instead of having to shoot it on weekends, we can block out, like 21 days or so and pay everyone fairly.
Yeah,
nice.
that's really the plan right now, is to grow it into something that we can make financially sustainable. And if we make enough, we can share that with the people, that we work with, making sure that everyone's fed and locations get paid and we have proper permits and all the actors and everybody gets paid. And we're willing to do the extra work on the back end and take less of a cut to make sure that everyone else is happy, because our final product is always going to be better in that instance, versus if everyone was like, oh, we should have done this or got made or paid this or whatever. We want everyone to be like happy
Yeah,
and have something that they're proud of at the end of it too.
Hmm.
um, and in a way it seems a little like, we'll give you all this, but when you give us this is our like uh our happy moment. Their happy moment was doing it. Ours is too, to an extent, but that final product, like really having something that we can be proud of, or
Hmm.
something that um we kind of jumped into that had challenges that we had to figure out how to do. Like, we dreamed big, now let's do it. And working around that and trying to like shoot a little higher than what we're sure we're capable of, just to force us into that next level. It matters a lot. And I feel like we've learned a lot in the last 2 years just doing that kind of stuff. More camera movement. We're trying to get, you know, mirror replacement, things like that. New things that I haven't done before. I'm still super new to editing and whatnot. And, my school has been YouTube when it comes to all that. So,
and of course, I mean, you mentioned the final product, because I mean, once you're done filming, I mean, that's when the fun begins, right? Now you got to edit. Now you got to do the music grade, the color grade,
right. Hmm.
and like when it comes to doing the edit, I mean, is that Anthony?
Yeah,
So
I work a
yeah.
lot by myself too, but at the same time, I recently have worked in a way to live stream my screen over to James, so we can do live personal feedback like in real time and edit together.
Oh,
So
nice.
say like I can't drive out the 35 minutes to his place and then spend hours doing that. We can both just sit at home in our comfort zones on our computers and do it together. Um, and that's kind of shaped a lot of how things are starting to turn out, because sometimes I might hit a roadblock where I'm like, I need feedback, but I don't want to export a
Yeah,
big chunk of film that I'm not sure about yet. And then instead we could just watch it at the same time, live stream it, and it makes it a lot easier and more fun too, because
Mhm.
we could get more people involved if we wanted to. And um, it's kind of we could also record it. It could be something to look back on in the future and be like, hey, look, we have this 10-hour collage of every time we edited this, like look at these funny moments that happened.
Behind the scenes, huh?
Yeah, BTS, man.
And just to speak a little bit more on that post-production, the editing process, I think that was both of our first time doing such an extensive editing.
Yeah,
We didn't clock it, which we'll probably try and do this next time just out of curiosity. But I think we spent probably over 100 hours together, yeah, editing the film. And we would do what Anthony's talking about, doing a couple hours on like Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then when time was permitting, we would get together on Sundays for like, I don't know, somewhere between 6 and 8 hours in a dark room and knock it out. But yeah, this next project we're getting to jump into this weekend, I foresee the editing process to take probably less than half the time, maybe, because we do have a much larger crew and we've delegated responsibilities to people that we trust and admire their work also.
yeah,
No, and I was gonna say too, because for the most part, I know when it comes to filmmaking, I mean, from what I've heard, a lot of times directors, um, or just those that are actually working on the project, and they're kind of less susceptible to be doing like Anthony was saying, to be sending like an hour worth of video. I mean, the Dropbox, the whole thing, email thing. I mean, I've
yeah,
done it and it's horrible. Did I hate it? But I mean, so it's a lot easier just to have like I guess a smaller crew working on something, like when it comes to doing the editing, or
yeah. I mean, right now it's just been the two of us that have, been a part of an edit session like that. What something that I personally would like to do is like I'm not the best at color grading, and that's something I'm still really trying to hone my skills in. It'd be nice to have a person that we could have do the color after we make like the cut. And then I don't know if we've mentioned this, but Notice Studios did audio mixing and mastering for A Rift Apart, and they're like a really clutch contact to have because they do such quality work in such a fair price and a great time frame. So it's like delegating out little bits here and there, and
Mhm.
then like bringing it back all together to have that final product, and everyone is like really good at what they do, and that makes a big difference than like me who's okay at doing something sitting there probably taking twice as long to do whatever they could do in like 30 minutes.
And so I want to touch base on Notice. It's spelled Notis. They're based out of OKC, and the way that we met them is our other main actor in A Rift Apart, Logan Smith, great actor. He's known the owners for a couple years, and those were one of the locations we scouted for the interrogation room slash hospital room. And it just turned out that they were just like so nice and so supportive, that we ended up going back after shooting for their help with post production. They are like a fully fledged film production studio
Hmm.
here in the OKC area, and they did it all themselves. I think they have something like 7 or 8 movies out right now on, multiple streaming platforms. So they're doing really well. I mean, they're in-house with like writing, directing,
Yep.
obviously post-production stuff like that. And we're totally looking forward to working with them again this next time around.
nice, man. You see, and then those kind of contacts that you make, while you're doing this, because of course, I mean, you guys were location scouting, and boom, there you go, man. Well, that's cool, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I think they're able to help out and make this stuff happen, because like Anthony was saying, I mean, for those, I mean, that's I'm sure if you guys could do everything 100%, you guys would, right? I mean,
Right, right. And we have like had to do that to a certain extent, but like finding the people that are really good at that stuff, and like that's something that they love even more than like how much I love like holding a camera. It makes a big difference in the final outcome, and also finding somebody that you can collaborate with and give feedback back and forth without anything weird going on.
No, no, of course, guys. Now, let me ask you. I mean, of course, when it comes to being artists, because of course, I mean, when it comes to music, I mean, both you guys, deal with that. I mean, you guys in the film business. What else? What would be something that you guys do that nobody would expect for you guys to do? I mean, other than being artists, musicians, filmmakers. I mean, is there anything else that you guys do outside the box?
I don't know. What do you think, Anthony?
I'm not sure either. I love to fish.
Yeah, I mean, because of course, I always tell people, like, I mean, when like I go, I do 6 miles like every other day. I mean, it's not always 100%, but it's like I go out
Yeah.
there, it's like my therapy. I love getting away and unwinding and all that. So yeah, fishing, man. I mean, I don't have the
Yeah.
patience for that. I'd be throwing rocks in the water and stuff, but but if it works for you, man, I mean, heck, why not?
Yeah, like I would say I've done all sorts of random little hobbies like that to, have something fun, like disc golf and, just taking a walk around the lighthouse, filming the sunset. We would go and feed squirrels at the park. We have passes to the zoo and the botanical gardens, so we like to go and do that as well.
Nice.
Um, yeah, I like a lot of things.
Yeah, I don't have that much of a life. I just stay home and I write stuff and I try and put people on a team to make movies. That's all I do.
Well, obviously it's working for you, man. So I mean, by all means, keep doing it. I mean, heck.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you one random question, man. Of course, if you guys were to be made into action figures, man, and you need to have one prop in as a toy, what prop would that be?
What action figure or what prop? I missed that.
Well, I mean, if you were made into an action figure and you could only have one prop with you as an action figure, like what would it be?
Oh, okay. Gosh, man, you
I mean,
you asked some interesting questions.
I I would say a camera or a guitar personally, like
Oh, okay, there you
one
go.
or the other, maybe a camera with like a GoPro on it.
Nice, nice.
Or a guitar with a GoPro on it. I'm sorry.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
I was gonna straight up just say a battle axe.
Oh,
Hey,
dude. You see, that's true. Why
it's the
not,
way
man?
to go. You're prepared for
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah. I
yeah.
was gonna say, unless you had like one of those axe guitars, and two birds with
There
one
you go.
stone.
Yeah,
But
there you
still,
go.
Hmm.
yeah. But guys, when it comes to the projects, I mean, of course, you guys said you have another one in the works. Are you guys planning on staying busy? I know you mentioned the feature, but I mean, in between, are you guys going to be dropping like these short films throughout the year?
Yeah, we will. We do plan on like working on stuff individually. Like I work as an actor. Anthony works as a professional sign painter. But also he has other projects in the can that we're really excited about. But
Yeah.
essentially, yeah, I mean, like we come back together when we have the chance, and we do plan on putting out a lot of stuff this year. So it is going to be exciting. If anyone wants to like follow the progress or watch what we've worked on so far, you can follow us like on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube at Deja Reve Moving Pictures.
Nice, nice. And of course, guys, when it comes to music, because of course, like you said, you guys are going to be, well, Anthony is going to be composing. You guys are going to be making music, making soundtracks. Are you guys looking at doing that just for yourself, or is this something that, like, if you have a song and somebody else wants to buy it, is it going to be available?
I would be open to writing songs and putting them out there for other people to use.
Hmm.
Right now, I mean, the main focus has just been getting music on Rift Apart at the time. And I think once we did that and we did all the sound design, we kind of realized, hey, this was a lot of fun. So maybe on one of those Saturdays or Sundays where we don't have anything going on, let's do this for an hour or so and, make something that we like and resonates with us. But yeah, that's something I have thought about is writing music and making it available for anybody to use if they
Yeah.
wanted.
No,
Yeah.
no, yeah, I mean, I've been running into musicians, I mean, directors, filmmakers too, man, and they're in bands, and there's two of them, two bands that I mean, it's it's not all they do, but I mean, they do make songs for other movies. And I just thought, I mean, there's bands like that just do that. And I was thinking, dude, that's so freaking cool, man. I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of like, hey, we're going to make this movie. It's about this. This is what's going on. Like, we need a song, and it's okay. Boom, put it together and, pitch it out there. But I mean, if it's paying, why not,
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, guys, man, I appreciate you guys jumping on here. I mean, definitely a great time, man. Anything you want to say before we wrap this up, guys?
Well, yeah, first and foremost, I mean, thank you for having us. Thank you for having me back. This is the second time we've talked, and we keep in contact throughout the year, which is super cool to see each other and like all the different work that we get to do throughout the year. So thank you, Mario. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks
And
for having me on too. I really appreciate that. This was cool. I've only done a podcast like this one other time, and it was with my band at the time. So this is really
cool,
interesting,
man.
and like I like the idea of your platform too, giving people a place to like express new projects and talk about who they are and link up and network with your audience.
No, I mean, definitely, man. And I'm the same way. I mean, when it comes to bringing guests on, I mean, of course, James has been on here before, and it's always great because I do follow everybody that has jumped on, and everybody's out there making projects, making things happen, and I'm like, man, and I'm rooting for everybody. Like I said, I hope we all win. At the end of the day, it's like, I mean, it's not even a competition. It's just, I mean, going out there having fun. Some days it'll be my week, next week, who knows, somebody else might have it and keep, but I mean, stuff like that keeps me going because it's like I see other people, other locals, other people working, and I'm thinking, you know what, there's still work out there for everybody, bro. So
Exactly.
I'm rooting for everybody, man. But
root for everybody, have fun, and be a nice person. Like
simple.
Yeah.
And of course, and then support projects. I always I mean, there's a few indie filmmakers out there, and I keep seeing them. They share each other's stuff, and I'm like, dude, I think that's like the coolest thing I've seen because it's like, I don't know if it's out of fear or out of some people just don't want to do it. And but it's like, dude, I mean, that's if we don't share our own stuff, then how do we expect others to? We got to support, we got to we got to drop a heart, hit a like, do a share, whatever. Everything counts, everything helps. But yeah, as long as we keep supporting each other, man. I mean, sky's the limit. So and of course, you guys keep making films, man. That'll just keep people like myself busy. So we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Man, guys. Right. Well, I do appreciate you guys. Don't hang up yet. Everybody out there, of course, make sure and follow them on Instagram. This is Spider. Once again, Coming Soon Podcast as always. So next time, follow up.